Wagwan family, welcome to Black Blood Voices Podcast. We're all about spreading peace and light through meaningful conversations. I'm your host, Raj Jaffe Judah, coming to you live from Cashville, the Keys. Hope y'all ready to elevate your minds and spirits as we dig into some real and raw conversations. Man, so it's an honor to have the brother today on the podcast. Man, we've been doing a lot of work together, been building. Today on the podcast, y'all, we have Ron Obasi. How you doing, bro? Ron Obasi, how you doing, bro?
Big up. I'm blessed, bro. Peace to the gods, man. Thank you for having me, bro. It's an honor for sure.
Indeed, brother. Indeed, man. So, just want to big you up and let you know, man, you've been doing a great job as far as with your campaign, with the music, and today I just really want to have a conversation with you, you know what I'm saying, about, the business side of the way you approach it and, with the music that you put out, because you put out a different type of music, you know what I'm saying? You really put out, when I say different type of music, you put out a music that is more of a high frequency, I would say. High frequency thinkers, high frequency livers. And I think that's important to the culture, to add to what's already there, right? So, man, without further ado, bro, we're going to hop straight into it, right? Solid, man. So can you tell us, a little bit about, who you are, where you from, and what space are you in right now? Indeed. What you doing? Like, what you doing?
Indeed, man. I'm Ron Obasi. I'm born and raised here in Nashville, Tennessee. Most of my life spent it out east. You know what I mean? From Casey, Douglas, going to Kirkpatrick, East Park Community Center, growing up there. It definitely added to the journey of who I am as a man. You grew up in those areas.
Facts. Big facts. And I'm from Inglewood myself. Yeah. Grew up on by PA. Grew up on Eastland, Arrington. Bounced all around, lived on Riverside, you know what I'm saying? So, bro, I can totally relate. And that's, working in the community and being in the community is what kind of inspired this podcast. We call this podcast the People's Podcast, right? Because, we're really having conversations with, people who are superheroes, man. You know what I'm saying? To be able to go from, a 9-to-5 job and then have this idea, to want to take that idea to a further space and actually manifest it. You know what I'm saying? And as you're balancing your day-to-day life like that, that's like magic. That's real magic, bro.
Magic for sure.
So my first question is, man, can you tell us, or my next question is, can you tell us about a moment when you realized you want to become an artist or an entrepreneur? Because you also do Welcome to Earf School, and explain to us what that is, as far as like, is it like in the business aspect, like is it a podcast, is it a content platform, like just explain to us what that is.
Yeah, so Welcome to Earf School, I created it with crazy enough all of those things in mind, having a podcast, content, but I mostly created it to give myself avenues to be more hands-on in the community. Like, how do I, the motivation was like, I'm inspired by so many different hands that I see in the community, right? And other people are branding it or giving it energy, giving it life. And Welcome to Earf School was mine, which was inspired by the fact that, I pride myself on being a student. I love to learn. I love to learn from other people's cultures, how they build traditions, how they built on technology, how they sustain knowledges over so many different generations and passing it on. So that's where inspiration came, Welcome to Earf School, and then it became a business idea. And it's still growing, but that's the foundational roots for sure. And, crazy, God bless you, bro. You was the very first opportunity that I had to really, the very first opportunity that I had to facilitate energy of what Welcome to Earf, what Welcome to Earf School is, because I got to ask not just questions that was based around the theme, but I got to ask the questions that fed me and would feed anybody that tapped into Welcome to Earf School. Wow. And not to get off topic, just to answer the question, when I've been around music my whole life. My pops did music. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Two totally different kind of artists, but an artist nonetheless. He was always an artist I respected. And probably like my first inspiration in that area. Growing up dancing and shit, so it's so essential. So you take it into adulthood and you go through all of those like journeys of like I played sports, I played ball for a little bit in college in Virginia, football to be exact, and then you know I realized there that the only thing that really kind of fed my spirit was the artistry. Taking on a different kind of jobs and stuff where I was abiding to other people's time and structure. You begin to ask yourself the questions that lead you to the answers of how you tap into, you know, delegating your own time, how you manifest your own things into this reality rather than giving the energy to somebody else. So that's what led me to the where I am now, honestly. And the trial and errors, the failures, that were things that I created before Welcome to Earth School, and the things that I have going on now that started with great energy, started great passion, died out because of some missteps, and then you learn from them. Yeah.
So, man, can you let us know, like, you said some challenges. What are some of those? Can you speak on, like, one scenario, like a challenge, like as an entrepreneur, as an artist, like what are some of the biggest challenges you face as an entrepreneur, and how did you like overcome that, and remain motivated and inspired to press forward?
Yeah, man, one of my biggest challenges, my personal challenges, is I like to fantasize. I like to always, because that's where it starts, right? But sometimes I get stuck there. Sometimes I get stuck in what a business could look like and how it could be. And so much so that I was skipping over a lot of details. I was skipping over a lot of things that is like real foundational work. Paperwork, EINs.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Things like that. And, it's necessary when you want to take it. It's necessary when you want to take things a step further. But even before I got to that point, just the work. You know what I mean? You can think about, I thought about Welcome to Earth School for a long time. Talked to my lady about it for a long time. And then the moment presents itself where, okay, well, where do you start? Because you can't start where you picture it at. You know what I mean? Where do you start? Okay, I can use my phone. I need to start talking on camera. I have experiences that I can pull from other walks of life, my artistry. I'm not afraid to speak in front of people. I'm not afraid to put my message out there. So it translated to the Welcome to Earth School. And then, that was one of my biggest challenges. Just kind of getting over the details and getting out of my mind, really. And like, okay, what's the first brick? What's the first layer?
And when do you believe that it kind of start to become in more alignment, or what helped you get it to a point where you could find the words to not only communicate it, but also find the other missing pieces to make it manifest?
Yeah, community was big in that area.
Wow.
Community affirmation. Because again, one of my delays with putting Welcome to Earth School out there in the world was like, because I'm inspired by so many people doing their messages that way, like this is just myself talking. Am I creating something that's already created? Am I putting something out there that's not needed?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then my own self questions is like, you get the imposter syndrome. Who am I? Do I know enough? Have I learned enough to create this? But again, when I started it, bless it. It was community affirmation came from you. You know what I mean? It came from my lady. And those things helped me. It definitely helped affirm that this is more than a solid idea. And ideas obviously start from the individual, but they're always bigger than the individual, for sure. Yeah. Community affirmation was big.
Got you. You mentioned your lady, your empress, man, your queen, and I got a chance to meet her. Beautiful woman, and y'all have a beautiful family, bro. You know what I'm saying? A beautiful daughter. So, like, how do you balance, the professional life as an entrepreneur, but also the personal life as a man, as a husband, as a protective provider, you know what I'm saying, for real?
We like to say take it one day at a time at the crib.
Big fan.
But she's big on we share the fantasizing thing. So we both started to have bigger communication. We started to get real intentional about communication. Writing it down, you know what I mean? Calendars was created for a reason, you know what I mean? You got notebooks. We run things by each other. Excuse me. We run things by each other, and we also keep each other reminded of the importance of time. You know what I mean? I know a lot of us have our views of time. We can say it's not linear. We can say it's a construct. You know, but there's a body clock. There's rest. There's time to create. There's time to sit in stillness. And we always talk about that. And the craziest thing is the family life helps me structure because every day I'm up at 6 and I ain't getting back into the bed till 10, 11 o'clock, right? But there's time in between that where I'm like, this shouldn't be used as idle time when you know you got the masculine energy to make it happen. You feel me? So, you know, I can use this time to write. I can use this time to read. I can use this time to sit and just look at the trees. You know what I mean? But that's how you spend the time. You know what I mean? Instead of
would you say that, you know, being an artist, it's possible to have, you know, a relationship as an artist? Would you say like that's possible, that's doable? Because like we in a culture, we in a certain time where it's like, you know, that's not seen in the hip hop world as much in the most healthiest way. You get what I'm saying? And it's like I feel like just by living your truth, you know what I'm saying, it's like that adds to, I would say, I guess that really adds to like your own personal brand to help people like me connect to it. You know what I'm saying? The way I connect to it more. So would you say like, you know, having a relationship has like strengthened or like improved, or maybe just like having a relationship, would you give tribute to like that's what helps make you the artist that you are today, to stand for something? Or would you say like that's kind of what you always kind of already been on?
Oh, it's both. Both are true. Cause like when we met, crazy enough, the music is what brought us together. She had heard the music, and she was the ultimate complimentary of it. She saw it the way I don't think nobody had ever saw the music.
Wow.
And at that point in the music, when she heard it, I was talking about things that I wanted to become. You know what I mean? And I understood what the music, how I could use the music. You know what I mean? Like real energy, putting it out there.
Wow.
And then when it became a reality, when the family became a reality, you still got hurt, because it's one thing to have the balance, but you gotta work to keep it. For sure. And that's just the way to honor it. It ain't work in vain.
Right.
It's just the way to honor it. And she know who I am to my core, you feel me? Sometimes they come with challenge, sometimes they come with acceptance. But she does let it be. You know what I mean? She let it be. And she know you know what I mean? Like I said, she know I'm eccentric. My ideas can go all over the place. But all in all, it's the most solid foundation I ever had in artistry in my life. And that's because that's also my business partner. That's my life partner. Wow. That's who I'm running the ideas by. That's who hear the music first. You know what I'm saying? So all of that is important. And that's why I feel like there's other things that go into it too, but I also feel like people are scared to bend those lies, because most of the contact with who they're trying to be is resistance to that. And, you know, we worked to get to a point where it's like we're not giving each other resistance in the individual growth. But I also understand that there's like an intentionality and a mindfulness that I keep in my artistry, because like I don't believe that you can't have both at once. Being an artist is just one layer of who I am. You know what I'm saying? So
thanks.
It's just one layer of who I am. So there's no reason for it to stop me from having the family and the home life I want to have. So.
Can you talk about some of the specific success stories or milestones that you are particularly proud of as an artist? or just an entrepreneur in general?
Man, I get okay. So again, the Welcome to Earth School, being able to facilitate at the Recycle and Reinvest was beautiful.
Yes,
I'll never forget it.
Yes,
I'll never
sir.
forget
Oh
it
man, much love, bro.
And
I had an awesome time.
Bro, I'm saying, man, like fulfillment, man, fulfillment, and you know that was in one of my times in my life where I was even thinking about letting hip hop go.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking about letting hip hop go, and realizing I didn't have to choose. I could be fulfilled in all of those walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the artistry side, what is one of my biggest fulfillments? I would say something. It's so easy to say like milestones and what somebody gives you.
True.
Or what is
I feel that.
But most of it are things that like I've created along the process. And I would say I created a project called Sun Tapes in 2020 and Why So Serious in 2022. And serious spelled like the serious star, but it was played off being like why so serious, like why you so. Those are mine.
Like some Joker or more like on some embrace the ugliness, like why so serious, like what you mean awesome.
Yeah, why you always so. It was me going through the selflessness, the ego death, and allowing my art to be a facilitator for something else. You know what I mean? So yeah. And I was like, why you gotta get rid of the self-righteousness stuff. Yeah.
Man, and that's really a good point. You know, just growing into self and growing into knowledge of self. How do you say like you would approach failure or setback? You know, how do you approach it? Like how does it impact you? You know, in order so you can bounce back. For people who are out there listening, right, and like if they needed some mind blocks to build on, to understand how to navigate through certain issues, right? And we all still growing as individuals every day, you know what I'm saying? You know, cause like, I'll give you an example. An issue I used to struggle with navigating around is communicating and, you know, communicating in a way that my anger didn't put me in a position of where I would regret, right? So it took a lot of me, one, applying myself in reading. I've read a lot of books. And also it took me having conversations with people who were trained and certified in, you know, whether that be therapy or whether that be like, you know, cognitive behavior training, you know what I'm saying? And just doing different things as an entrepreneur kind of forced me to grow, right? When I didn't even know I was about to grow. Shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, how do you, so now I'm at a space where I no longer, you know, lose myself or lose my brain or, you know, lose my words to where I'm being belligerent or I'm being, you know, just very out of alignment. You know, and that's something else that became more important to me in order to communicate, you know, my business. So like I said, like I now I'm at a point where I approach my failure in a way that I try to be more mindful of tomorrow and be present in today. So like, yeah, like for you though, like how do you approach failure and setback of the entrepreneurial journey?
It's crazy to say something that you didn't just already say, but my personal experience has been something that works for me is a shift in mind, which shift the reality, shift the paradigm. But in detail, it goes like I was always somebody who could harp on the loss so much that became
that's real.
The strongest mental imprint.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It kept you from moving forward. Keep you from creating new things. Keep you from feeling like you're worthy of new things. To even start something. And I can relate to the reading and student effort so much, bro, so much. And I needed it in a time where I felt like I didn't have the elders or the minds to reach out to, but that's why mentors, elders, and scribes put it in the books. You know what I mean? For people that they can't reach face to face. So a lot of the books I picked up helped me dig deep and gave context to the reason why I was responding to things like that, right? And it all starts internal. And when I got deep into what the masculine energy is at its finest anyway, it is stabilizing things. You know what I mean? Is like, you know, being able to look at experiences like I wasn't able to build here, and like, okay, but what did I take from this though? Cool. That's a skill that I learned from this loss or a thought process. And you know, all of those things that I saw as failures at the time all became building blocks to what I have now. Past relationships, past artistic efforts, you know what I mean? Having your creative babies, you know what I mean? Like fell right in front. They can take a toll on you. You know what I mean? And then just how I grew up, bro. Like I don't as a man now, I don't identify with that side because I understand the environment kind of carved out a lot of trauma, a lot of fight or flight responses.
Yeah.
A lot of like, I'm giving you this energy first to protect myself. But when you get older, you realize that's not you know what I mean? Maneuvering through life. It's not healthy. Maneuvering through life like that in business, maneuvering through like that in love. When you claim you want to give it out, ain't the way to move. So
true. And just you know, to have that peace of mind, peace of heart, bro.
That's more important.
Let it go.
You got to, because you know, at that point, you're no longer even in control.
True that.
You're no longer in control. That. And I don't obsess over control of external things, but I do feel like I value myself to at least have control over my emotions and my responses, because ultimately that is what kind of control the narrative and everything else ultimately around, and or gives way to, you know what I mean? And that's why I can definitely relate. I can relate, you know what I mean? I felt like I didn't have the resources to kind of tap into people that would help heal my perspectives. So, but the heart and the soul had me dig deep for it, and it was always in the lowest points. I came out stronger, rising like the phoenix, bro.
That part.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what's next, man. What you got coming up?
Man, I definitely want to build on Welcome to Earth School. I want to be more hands-on, and I want to help facilitate other people that are hands-on. You know what I mean? Just being of service and give that energy, give that life. Want Welcome to Earth School to be more sponsoring of other people's events, companies, as well as build on what Welcome to Earth School is. And then artists, it's music, man. We writing. I ain't gonna lie, I had it was hard for me to write for a long time. For some months now, it's been hard for me to write. But this past month, man.
But that's artistry, though.
It is.
That's for real artistry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, and that's translated. It's one thing to write, but it's one thing for it to translate into the vibe. So
true.
It's landing. So definitely some music soon. Kind of letting people know where I was.
Heard. We waiting on it. I'm waiting on it. I'm subscribed. Yeah, I'm subscribed, bro. So I'm locked in, bro. Like I said, I want to keep on building with you. Real talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because like I said, everything you stand for and the alignment that you walking, that's what time it is, bro. And I need more brothers like that. That's why I had this, that today. You know what I'm saying? Aside from this interview, we, you know what I'm saying, but like the other stuff, but I ain't gonna speak on that because we gonna focus on interview. But man, before we wrap up, I like to do this. I like to close out with this exercise, right? And this exercise goes like, I'm gonna give you a statement and I want you to finish that statement.
Okay.
All right. So the statement is, I feel the best when. Okay. So for you, with this statement closing out. And thank you for coming to Black Blood Voices. We appreciate love your transparency and your, willingness to lead, be a great leader as an artist, you know what I'm saying, and put the type of music that you do, and also just push forth the culture and the brand the way you do. Over here, Black Blood Voices is truly appreciated. So I want you to finish the statement. I feel the best when.
I feel the best when the energy that I put into the world and that I stabilize in my home life creates free-flowing energy with the feminine in my life. And that's my daughters and my lady. When I know they free-flowing and they feel safe and they feel like they can exist in who and what they are, that's when I feel the best for sure.
Solid business, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, look, signing out, Ron Obasi. Y'all go tap in. Salute, brother.
Salute.
Wagwan family. Support for Black Blood Voices comes from Nashville nonprofit radio station WXNA. It shows soul of the city, where Erica spins local and national soul and hip hop whenever she feels like throwing it at you. Every Thursday at 5 p.m. Only on WXNA 101.